And welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. We love to help improve your home and improve your life. Speaking of colors, we're talking about coloring eggs. How about that? Cindy Dole and Eric Stromer here. Now, you remember, I mean, you always are coloring eggs with your kids every Easter, right?
I actually really love it. It's a lot of fun and easy, safe to do. Mm-hmm. The only problem is that sometimes we hide them and then we can't find them until about 3 years later. And it's like, why does it smell like sulfur? Well, it's all the eggs you left in the corner.
And poor Hazel hasn't found the
Hazel
eggs.
hates the eggs, yeah.
Well, there are so many really cool ways to color eggs. I know that you were saying that the crayon method is your favorite, right?
Yeah,
Talk about that.
So you have these, any crayon will do. You have a dry eggshell, obviously, after you've hard-boiled them, and then you just kind of draw on the eggshell any design that you want, and then when you put that in the dye, the color will not saturate in the part that you've covered with the wax from the crayon. And so my wife happens to be one of these amazing illustrators, so hers are always so amazing. And then, we look at ours and it looks like, people with
little stick figure
learning diffificulties did them, right? I know. Little stick figure.
Little stick bunny, right. There's the whiskers.
Yeah.
Well, the crayon method, I remember doing that as well. And so, and it's still very easy and popular. But wait till you get a load of some of these others that kind of take it to the next level, like the tissue paper method. Now
I don't know this one. Tell me about that.
Okay, so this gives you the idea, it gives you the look of almost tie-dye. And what you would do is you would get tissue paper, wrapping tissue paper from anywhere, stationery store, whatever, in different colors.
Okay.
Just go nuts with the colors. And you're going to just kind of, with a spray bottle, mist the egg. Again, we're talking about the eggs already ready. They've been either hard-boiled or they've been blown out. We'll talk about the blowing out in a minute. But you spritz it, and then you get it all wet, and then you take little squares of tissue paper, and you lay it all around the egg, and you overlap, and it isn't like the paper is going to stay on the egg. This is just taking the color from the paper onto the egg.
Oh, so the dye transfers from the paper to the egg.
And so you just you don't want the tissue paper to get completely wet, but you're going to just spritz it again to get some of the moisture. Yeah. So step 1, you spritz the egg. Step 2, put the color of the paper around the egg. Step 3, a little more of a mist. Let it go to the side in a bowl. Let it dry for a minute, and then the tissue paper is going to fall off. Don't worry. It's okay. And now all of a sudden you're going to have this kind of cool stained glass tie-dye look with all those colors.
That's actually great.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, I love that.
So that is, I think, a really easy method. The crayon one is great and nostalgic, but why not try different techniques? Here's another really one. Have you done the sticker method, the sticker Easter egg one?
I haven't. Well, no, actually they do. I ually buy the kits. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, well,
and then the kits come with some stickers on them.
Yeah. So this is basically you get dots and star holes,
right,
or any other kind of a sticker,
right,
and then you after you put the stickers on there, you're going to now dye the egg. And then add more stickers, and then after you remove the stickers, it takes some of the color off, and so you have,
so it becomes layers and upon layers of color.
Yeah. So that's kind of a
I see. It becomes like a negative image versus a positive image.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sticker is another not too difficult one. How about marbleized Easter eggs?
Well, that looks fantastic.
Isn't this
Tell me
neat?
about that.
Okay. Yeah. The magic here is basically vegetable oil, and the separation technique makes that color separate. And so it's giving it almost like a stone, a marble.
So
look.
wait, so you make your dye, and then you add the vegetable oil to the dye.
Store-bought or just your basic food coloring and vinegar, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to add a tablespoon of vegetable oil for each of your little color batches. And then you dye the eggs as you would normally.
Yeah.
And then when you remove the eggs, the oil is what's going to cause that effect. It's going to separate.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't that neat?
That looks great.
Yeah, so you can make them in different colors, and why not do something?
Yeah, it really does look like stone. Almost.
It does.
Yeah.
And especially if you had blown out the egg, this is a work of art that you could save for years. And
then you could save them in just an egg crate, correct? That's a good way to do it.
Anything like that. And then you could also put, in years past, I've actually covered it with clear nail polish or some kind of a clear glaze. So now it really has that protective coating after you've worked so hard,
right?
For year after year. I like the rubber band method. Now, the rubber band method also kind of gives you a tie-dye effect. Envision just having your eggs. Again, they're already either hard-boiled or you've blown them out, and you're going to put a bunch of rubber bands around them.
Oh, okay.
And then you're going to dip it in a color of one of the dye. and then you let it dry, and then you can then put it back into another color. And so what's going to happen is, again, it separates. The rubber band is going to show one color and then not the other. So it looks,
all right.
It kind of has that
So you take
tie-dye.
the rubber band off and then re-dunk it, and then that
it.
band becomes another color. I see. Gotcha.
That's a fun one.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is another really cool one that I like? You can do natural dyes for Easter egg, but I haven't tried this. Meaning you can use things around the house, like curry powder to give it like a yellow. I don't think so.
I'm not gonna do
the problem is if you then want to later eat your hard-boiled eggs, the flavor might come through. Now, curry wouldn't be so bad with eggs, but some of these others might be kind of icky. Some of the other flavors that you would try.
That just spells disaster in at my table with the kids blowing powder on each other.
Well, they're saying like you could use fresh beets or canned cherries.
Well, beets would work
to make the red, or you could use lemon peels to have a light yellow.
Yeah.
Or
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy the dye.
I think it's better. I think it's a better way. Or just or the food coloring and the vinegar. That's easy to do.
Okay.
Because then you have your own.
Yeah.
Let's see. Another really good one that I love is the floral Easter eggs. Now this is a little tricky. This is kind of more for the adult kid as opposed to the young kid. But you're going to use old candle stubs and paraffin wax, and you're going to use a paintbrush or a Q-tip, and then you use some small pressed flowers or furnished leaves, like if you can imagine some old dried flowers that you may have put in wax paper in a book way back when. This is going to have that kind of a look where you have little dried flowers and creations on your egg.
If you do this,
it's a bit much.
You gotta have the stuff out of the middle, because what's the point of taking all the time and then just throwing it out in the yard?
So you always hard boil your eggs, right?
Yeah. And then I make a delicious egg salad.
Why not?
Oh, I love that.
Now, here's with the hard boiled eggs, but here you can make a delicious omelet or anything else by blowing out the egg. And I know you've had bad experiences, but do you use a needle to poke a hole on either end of the egg?
Yeah. Now you just do it on one side or two sides?
On both sides.
Oh,
and you're
maybe that's why.
And you blow it all the way, and you get a little bowl, and you're standing over the bowl, and you're taking a deep breath, and when you're blowing out, and you are trying to extract everything.
It just sounds like a head rush and then pass out and crack your head open on the table.
You have to kind of take a breather in between because you're going to get lightheaded. But it's so great because that's a job. And after you've blown out all your eggs, then take a break, make an omelet, and then come back and then do the coloring.
So
if
I'm going to do a dozen of these eggs,
you're going to get really lightheaded.
And I need to definitely allocate a good hour to this. So I should basically start right now.
Half an hour, blow out all the eggs, then make a nice breakfast for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Which
a casserole, a nice omelet, omelet bar, whatever, and then now you could later in the day or the next day color the eggs.
Okay.
Now this is the one that really, really caught our attention was the whole idea of then not only blowing out the egg, but then putting chocolate back inside.
Yeah, that one was really amazing.
Is that amazing?
Tell them about that one.
Okay, so picture blowing out the egg, and now again you're going to have a beautiful eggshell. The eggs are in a bowl over to the side, and you can make whatever you want with it for dinner, for breakfast, whatever. But now you have just this eggshell. Well, you're going to sterilize it in boiling water and make sure it's all clean and nice. Now on one side you're going to make the hole a 1/4 inch. You're going to need a little bit more room because we're going
to bore it out a little bit.
We're going to put some melted chocolate inside that eggshell.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when that hardens, you just crack that bad boy away, and you see the contrast and the color.
And we saw it with the blue, the robin's egg blue with the dark chocolate inside. And another recipe online that we found had, well, we talked about the gold leaves. We didn't talk about using that as a decorative thing. You want to use gold.
I'm going to do that this year. I'm going to try that. Gold leaf, the little sheets they sell at the arts and crafts store.
Yeah, and then any kind of a glue will do. So again, the picture blowing out the egg. Maybe you don't want to put the chocolate inside. You just want to have golden eggs. And you get those little sheets that are like 2 inches by 2 inch squares, and you use any kind of a glue with a brush and overlap them. Beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm doing that.
Beautiful. And you could do
My eggs will be precious and riddled with taste, and I'm going to go simple this year. I'm going to just take it down a notch. I'm going back to basics. I'm not going to do the crazy colors. I'm doing gold. But
doing the gold, now this was the one that really was stunning to me, where this chef not only infused the golden egg with chocolate, but he had tequila in the chocolate,
now you're speaking
and
to me.
pralines and toffee nuts,
wow.
all in this melted chocolate, and he uses a pastry bag to blow the chocolate in that 1/4 inch hole that's now into the shell. And so, I mean, imagine that.
And then it sets up. You crack it open. You get a little tequila juice and some chocolate.
Oh my gosh! And what a beautiful centerpiece! Or try not to eat it. Is that gorgeous?
Boy, that's a good one. Yeah.
So those are some great tips, I think. And in terms of the chocolate, I mean, you can use dark or light chocolate. A lot of the dark chocolate brands, they definitely shouldn't be heated to more than 118 degrees. And then you
got to use a double boiler,
You probably should.
Yeah.
And but I think I'm going to try this. It seems like a really cool project.
I just hope you don't pass out.
And then of course you got to get the kids
involved. And then you have
involved.
to be revived again with the tequila.
Well, the kids are involved because they're licking the spoon, right? Of all the chocolate, and because some of the chocolate.
It's going to be pandemonium. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have crazy hopped up kids.
Now, do you? Well, I know that after you do all the color of the eggs, you do a nice egg hunt. Is that something that's been a tradition at your house?
The kids come down the stairs. I get the camera
It's
ready.
like Christmas.
It's crazy. They go nuts. They start tearing through it, and then the first thing they do is they look at each other's basket to see if somebody got something better.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Well, we have some great tips on how to have a scavenger hunt or egg hunt of any kind. I mean, one school of thought is don't have the competition of who can get the most eggs, but everyone is assigned a color. And so you don't know till after the fact whose color.
Well, see, that's a great idea. I'm doing that. You've just solved a huge
everyone
issue.
Just get all. So now all the eggs are collected.
They're looking for their own. They're not competing.
No, you get all the eggs, and then the secret is who's purple, who's red. Well, we'll tell you later.
Where you been the last 13 years with my kids? Jeez.
Well, we're going to talk about that and some fun ways to really bring adults into this because it can be almost like an obstacle course.
Oh, yeah.
Thing,
right? When I'm hunting for these things, it's like I'm stiff arming people like, Walter Payton.
You're listening to Home Wizards on this kind of wet Saturday morning. We're so happy that you're sharing your world with us. We love to help improve your life and improve your home. And we're back in a moment here. Cindy Dole and Eric Stromer on KFWB News Talk 980.